Well everybody, it's Sunday. It's the second round of the New Fish Spring League at Southfield, and I've drawn a peg that I don't fancy today, but in 2 weeks time you'll run to it. So what I thought I'd do, I'm in an opportunity, I'm going to show you Southfield. I'm going to show you where most of the pegs are. And so this is the East Lake. This is where we normally fish all those matches on a Wednesday. We don't win the woods or anything like that. And that's where we normally fish along the roadside just there. But this is a big lake, as you can see. And there's no wind today. It's horrible, to be honest with you, flat calm. And that's peg 11 there. It's a good peg. When the fish are in here, it's hard to beat. So you've got 11 to 17 down this side, then you've got 18 on that far bank, and you go all the way along to 70, all the way up there. So this is the East Lake. You've seen a lot of it on my videos before, and there you can see what we're going to do now. Sometimes we used to fish down there, but that used to be a walkway, but it's all broke down. That's a real shame, because we could put something down there, a walkway, and we could fish both sides, so we can fish the two lakes. So behind me, look, you've got the Aaron Calder. Look at that, the Aaron Calder. Hey, how good's that? Now this is full of fish. It goes miles and miles. I've always said that we are so lucky to be in this part of the world, because we have so much fishing. And we've probably got, I don't know, 50 miles of a canal, different ones, with the Stainforth Canal and the New Junction, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, believe it or not. You'll not believe it. But this is the Aaron Calder. We don't fish along here, we fish to my left near the bridge. But now we're coming to the West Lake, and this is the woods. You've probably heard about the woods. When the fish move in here, they're always in the money, and it's always solid. But they haven't moved in yet. They haven't quite moved in. They're in one, and maybe two later on. And this is where I've drawn today, peg 8. I've drawn in the woods 8. And to be honest with you, we could even be on for bingo today, where nobody catches. That's peg 10. Tricky Trev's drawn that. He's not here yet, he's that depressed, he hasn't turned up yet. And but that's peg 10. You need there's a fish just top there. I've just seen a fish top. Unless it was Mark chucking in, but I think it was a fish, which is probably the only one. So that's peg 10. And when the wind's blowing in here, all the fish come into this corner. And then you come up here to 9, and show you this one. This is Mark. I think it was Mark chucking in. He threw me with that one. I thought there were a fish topping, see what it's like at casting. Oh, not bad. Not bad that. I'll give him 8 out of 10 for that one. And that's my peg today. You can see my peg there. Straightforward, 2 rods, long and short. And I've just set 2 rods with natural baits, no pellets or anything like that. Got my worms, got my ground bait, got my flask, probably not big enough today. And then we move up till it gets a bit tighter now. And this is peg 7. I've never drawn this one, never been on that. I've been on 8 a couple of times, but I've never been on this one. Peg 7 has obviously gone for a walk to gear yourself up. Now this next peg is one of my favourite pegs, believe it or not. It's peg 6. I've drawn this 4 times, and the reason why it's a good peg, it's the first peg in these pegs sections, and it's nearest the fish. So there we go, my old pal. You alright? And that's peg 6. So got a good chance there, Nick. Now this is a really tight peg, this next one, and probably the worst peg along here, and it's peg 5, and it's the one and only Mr. Legend Pete Kitwood. Pole?
Pole.
Wow, well done, mate. Is it that desperate?
It could be.
Yeah, it could be. And the reason why it's the worst peg in the section is because when the fish are up this end, is the last to catch them. And of course, it's 5th in the section. So anything above 5th is a bonus. But knowing Pete, now look at this lad here. Your next peg to me last week. You alright, me old pal?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, not so bad. Sam, with the next peg last week, had a good match. Yeah, so on a better peg today. But this is where it gets interesting now. This is peg 3. The pegs get longer, they get wider, and they get more fish. And you alright, me old pal? And this is peg 3. Now you can see, you'll see the difference in the pegs now.
Yeah,
how wide they are.
Mr. Harrison wants to be here.
Peg 3 now then. we get into the nitty gritty now. This is peg 2. Now look at this lad. He's a bit like me, he got lost this morning. We've never been up here for years and years and years.
Morning, Tom.
Morning, pal.
All right.
I'm smashing. I wish I were here, but now this is the difference. Look at the room. We get loads of room in on 1, 2 and 3, and it makes a massive difference. But this is where they're catching the fish, because they haven't quite moved in yet. So let's go to the hot peg of the moment, which is number 1, and you'll see why it's a great peg. And got a great. Tony Peel won the match off this last week. Hey, my old pal. You all right, Vinny? How you going?
I'm good.
And this is peg 1. Now look at this. I'm not going to the left yet, I'll show you. So you've got lots of room out there, out there, out there, and then it joins to the canal. And it joins to the canal. People say, do the bream swim in and out? Well, of course they do. We've seen them swim past under a rod tip when people have been fishing here. So that is the Aaron Calder there, and this is Southfield. So you can see what happens when they join. Now last year when they were doing work on the canal really down, we were actually fishing out there. There was no water coming in and out. So what's happened is all the bream move in and move out. Now then, you can probably see that carp angler up there. Let's see if I can get you a bit closer. Now you see that carp angler there. They come there and they obviously catch cat, otherwise they won't be there. But you see that entrance there? That is the start or the end, whichever way you look at it, of the new junction canal. That's where it starts or finishes, where it just depends which way you would. Just in between the carp angler and the white sign. That's the new junction canal. So you can see why there's lots of bream, lots of fish in this area. You've lots of scope. It's a fantastic stretch of water. But these bream, they move in and out of the canal. I think personally that they move in into the canal when they want to spawn, or do they move up there? Who knows? We don't really know. That's the gun club over there. You can see the gun club. I'm just in a fish top up there in between, just this side of that buoy. But look at the expanse of water, and would you believe it? We've got 10 pegs. That's all we've got, and all that water, we've got 10 pegs. Could you imagine? Just imagine if we owned this, Doncaster and District. If they run this, you could get probably 150 pegs all the way around there, to the new junction. It's massive. We could have some of the best fishing matches ever if we owned all this. It would be awesome. And that's why these pegs are so good in the woods, 1 to 10, because you can imagine the pulling power when the wind blows in. They come in and out of the canal. It's a fantastic area. So that's Southfield. This is the West Lake. This is peg 1, and it's just solid. It's just brilliant. It's just a great. This is why we come old school bream fishing. It's just a great place. So hopefully we'll get some pulls. I'm not so sure. It's flat calm and bream don't always go together. There's one thing for sure. I wish I was sat on this peg with Vinny's. I really do, but I'm not. So I'll get on with it. So have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video and what it looks like at Southfield.